So, hello everyone. Welcome to Gate Live Twitter Space. And hello, dear audience tuning into the Gate Live AMA live stream. How are you all doing? Let's make some reaction in the Twitter space. Yeah, and and living up the comment or chat box. Drop a message so I can see you and engage with you all. Throughout the entire AMA, we have prepared a special treat for the audience in the live stream room, a red packet rain. Get ready to grab those packets for some exciting surprises. And for those tuning in to the Twitter space, guys, we haven't forgotten about you either. We have a lucky draw prepared that will be announced during the second part. Stay tuned. Yeah, thanks for the reaction. I see everybody is here and get ready for some exciting moments. Now, let me get started. Today, we're going to unlock chain abstracted future with near and linear. We have three incredible guests joining us. We have Illia, the founder of Near Portugal. We have Amoz, the founder of MetaWeb Ventures. And we have the core contributor of Linear Portugal, Stanley in the space. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. And okay, so since you guys are super, serious and quiet, and you know what, I've got these burning questions on my mind. It seems like our three guests today, yeah, you see, Ilias from Near Portugal, Amos representing MetaWeb Ventures, and Stanley as a core contributor of Linear. It seems like different projects. I bet we are all curious to know, like, okay, so what's the connection between these three? Yeah, how do they relate to each other? So yeah, any volunteers who can answer this question first?
Yeah, so maybe I can do a quick intro first, and then Stanley and Ilya can do theirs respectively, and which you can see that the dots being connected. So my name is Amos Zhang. I'm the founder of MetaWeb VC. We're early stage crypto ventures founded about 2 years ago, and some of the backers include Near Foundation, Sequoia Capital, Dragonfly, NCC of the world. And in terms of my relation with Near and Linear, so I was one of the early team member of Near, the marketing, BD, partnership, product, wore multiple hats back then because it was so early. And Linear is the project that will kind of help incubate over the years. Right now, it's one of the largest DeFi protocol on Near, and I think recently the governance token actually got listed on Gate. Hence why the AMA today. So super excited. Maybe Ida, you want to do a quick intro about yourself as well?
Yeah, hi everyone. Great to be here. Thanks for organizing this. I'm Illia, co-founder of Near Protocol, and been kind of working with Amos across different functions and across the ecosystem for a while, and excited to talk about chain abstraction and how Near and Linear fit into this kind of movement that we are all pushing now.
Yeah, so from my side, I'm Stanley. I'm the co-contributor at Linear Protocol. So yeah, we've been building on Near since 2021, launched the protocol in 2022, and then became the biggest liquid protocol on Near, also the biggest protocol by TVL on Near. We've been working very closely with Near Foundation, with basically every party in Near to boost the ecosystem, and recently we are also upgrading our narrative, and we're moving on to a bigger vision, which is restaking, which is also very related to Near's advancing into chain abstraction, and we can talk about that more later.
Yes, we're gonna definitely talk about this. To be honest, I haven't quite understand between what's the difference between staking and restaking, because I do understand restaking is a highly popular topic lately, and to be honest, I checked the Linear's website. For me, probably I'm a newbie, but for me it seems like so I can stake I can stake my Near token in Linear. So yes, I really want to know. Okay, so I checked the introduction of the Linear. So Linear is a omni-chain liquid staking platform empowering a chain abstractive Web3 future. So yes, this is interesting. I do notice a few key terms in the introduction that caught my attention. We have omni-chain, restaking, as I said, super popular topic lately, and chain abstraction. So guys, maybe you want to clear my doubt first. Just see me as a newbie. What is the difference between just traditional staking and restaking?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Amos, you wanna?
Yeah, go ahead, Stanley. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
suggesting you should take this one. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So basically, like staking is is the most basic activity you can do on a POS blockchain. So basically, you stake an asset like Near or Ethereum, to the nodes, to help secure the blockchain, right? That's the fundamental mechanism, of a POS blockchain. And a liquid staking protocol basically unlocks liquidity for stakers who stake their assets because after you staking let's say your Near, into a Near node, you will be like that asset will be kind of like locked within a node for a period of time. So if you want a liquid receipt of your staking and then you want to use that receipt elsewhere in DeFi, you will need a liquid staking protocol, and that's what Linear has been doing previously. And enters restaking. I think like restaking is actually a totally different primitive. So basically, previously with POS, all those staked assets, they're only used to secure one thing, and that's the blockchain, right? Stake Near is only used to secure Near blockchain. So that's one thing. But with restaking, you can reuse the security provided by staked assets on the POS chain to secure other stuff. So that's the basic idea. So like I believe, like EigenLayer pioneered the whole concept of restaking. They built the whole stack on Ethereum, enabling like Ethereum stakers to sort of like lend out their staked ETH to secure applications other than Ethereum. And what we're trying to do at Linear and also Near is to make this whole process more chain agnostic. So because Eigenlayer is built on top of Ethereum, and right now it's solely serving Ethereum. But in a multi-chain future, other assets other than Ethereum, I think they will survive, and they will also, I'll say, have the value to be reused by other applications, especially multi-chain, cross-chain applications. So that's the thing that we're doing. With linear restaking, we will enable restaking assets like Near and even more. And reusing eigenlayers infra. And it's very related to transaction. So I think we should actually move on to transaction and to discuss the biggest topic. In the room. So yeah.
Yeah, I can maybe give a quick idea about chain abstraction and some examples, and yeah, we can relate it back to what Stanley been talking about. So the core idea of chain abstraction is really not the technology, but the approach for the end user. The idea that as an end user, you really want to be able to navigate the whole Web3 space and find pretty much the economic opportunity, the cool experiences, the entertainment, whatever you are looking for, be able to find a work and do the work, and not need to be bogged down in the details of infrastructure, of exact chain that the specific smart contract runs on, the exact bridge that's required to send funds, the exact gas token that you need to pay. And that's kind of the super high level. The vision of this movement is to bring technologies across the whole Web3 stack to really enable this. And to do that, you need everything from kind of security aggregation, right? This restaking is part of that stack. You have zk provers, you have data availability, you have aggregation of zk proofs through aggregation layer. But then the other important piece is, and we actually launched this today, called chain signatures, is really allow any individual user to transact across all these chains now, if there is unified security or some security kind of unification, to be able to not think about, oh, I need to, new wallet, new address, I need to deposit something, I need to find which bridge working. Like all of that should be hidden behind the scene. And if you go even above that, what you want is just kind of provide your intent. I want to, buy some bonk, right? Or I want to ape into a new touch token that just launched on Near. And so how are you, how exactly the transaction happening, what swap pools are executed, all of this doesn't matter. You're just kind of providing this intent, and then there's sophisticated actors who know which counterparties they can use, how to execute kind of and solve for this intent that actually can fulfill it. But again, as a user, you just have a single interface, right? Something like DAppDApp, for example, where you have all the different applications from different chains in one experience, and you're able to just log in and start using them and not need to switch networks, figure out gas fees, etc. So that's kind of the vision. There's a lot of moving pieces under the hood to it really fulfill this vision. It's coming together across Near, Cosmos, Ethereum ecosystems, and then we'll see Solana and others joining as well. But the core benefit is for the user to really kind of remove this complexity that we see right now and fragmentation that we see right now in Web3.
Thanks for the explanation. Thank you guys for being my teacher and tell me all about this new concept. So why does this chain abstraction like hold such significance in crypto? Okay, so why this chain abstraction is so important? Like it seems
Well,
to me like yeah, it's like okay, we need a lot of definitely high technology here and some innovations that yeah.
I think so. It maybe just to give kind of an idea, right? So Near started with
Mhm.
chain abstraction kind of philosophy in mind from the start, right? We've designed the Near network to pretty much remove as much of technological complexity from users and developers as possible, right? So just as an example, Near is a scalable blockchain. The way it scales is by adding more shards. And kind of the way to think about it is as if, when there's enough demand, the new rollup kind of spins up automatically and rebalances users to a new rollup. But as a user, you don't need to think about it, right? You don't need to know even as a developer that there is kind of shards under the hood for you as a single chain. Similarly, we design our account model in such a way that you are able to kind of log in from different devices. You don't need to really manage your kind of seed phrase. You don't have to, create a new account when you want to switch to, for example, smart contract account, multi-sig, or sell your account, turning it into NFT because like, all accounts are smart contracts. We have meta transactions, so you don't need to pay transaction fees initially when you're starting as a new user. All of these were decisions to really simplify onboarding. And so what we in result have is a chain that has the most users in Web3, right? Near has over 10 million monthly actives. We have kind of weekly, and I think weekly we have more users than next four chains combined, something like that. And so that's really the benefit of this is now we can onboard users who don't even know they're using blockchain, but they're benefiting from lower transaction fees. For example, for Kaiching, it was pretty dramatic reduction switching from Web2 from Stripe to Web3 Near. It's like 10 to 100x reduction in fee for microtransactions, and the users didn't even know it, and they can like start using their non-custodial wallets and kind of over time learn more and more functionality is available for them. And so
Yes.
now with this, we want to continue growing this. Near has been growing actually 10x every year on active users. And so if we want to get to, the goal I stated in 21 to get to 1 billion users, we need to continue simplifying this experience, but also, Near is just one ecosystem. There's a limited number of experiences that you can have here. And so with chain signatures, the biggest benefit is now the users we're onboarding are not limited by kind of experiences built on Near, now they can transact across the whole Web3. And so kind of in the way we're creating this flywheel where more users now can transact and interact with more applications. And now these applications getting users that are kind of really easy to onboard through Near, and that attracts more users and more applications to kind of build in Web3. And so this is all toward our vision. How do we get all people in the world to really own their data assets and power of choice?
Yes, as a user, I think this is more user friendly and much easier. And it's really, yeah, for me, it seems like, okay, who doesn't like the, an easier way to get on board, and who doesn't like the lower gas fee? So. To some degree I can understand it. Okay, so it's even like safer, right? Because you like mentioned about smart contract, because every time I heard about smart contract I would worry about the safety. So but you make everything simpler, so is that more safe, or it doesn't like really matter? Like, okay, these two are not like really highly related. um
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
well, I can mention first, and maybe I don't know if Amos wants to add more stuff. But
Mhm.
the idea here is that through this methodology, right, and account abstraction that Near has, you can start rolling out security features as well, like second factor authentication, social recovery, ability to have kind of more sophisticated actors who implement your intent, so you don't need to manually figure out, if this bridge got hacked that you're using, is is it safe to do this, and like, is the front end that I'm using being trying to steal all my money through approvals. So in general, yes, it's also by abstracting this out and moving the complexity and understanding of the technical details to more sophisticated actors like relayers and solvers. It actually making it safer for end user, because they don't
Mhm.
need to think about kind of all specific details of how things are working, and like if this blockchain is even replicatable, because it's posting data but nobody can run the node.
Yes, that's impressive. I Yeah, you mentioned a
Yeah.
lot about the Near. Like, I want to know like what makes Near the best blockchain to build chain abstraction, and how close will the relationship be between chain abstraction and Near. I understand that you mentioned a little bit before, but please tell us more about it.
Uh, yeah. So I mean, I can start, but yeah, let's get also Amos to as a um, as a representative here that looks across many different chains and many different applications. So for Near, we started with this chain abstraction mindset, and so a lot of the decisions we've made have been towards this goal in general, right? And
Mhm.
we called it more like, hey, we wanted a simple to use blockchain, but kind of the idea is the same. And because of this, we have a very sophisticated account abstraction model that allows for a lot of programmability and make it really easy um, to kind of onboard users and make it straightforward to use, even in sophisticated use cases. And so that is, I would say, like one of the primary reasons why Near is a really good place to kind of initiate your journey in Web3 and use other chains and use other apps across the ecosystem. Also, Near, kind of compared to, for example, Solana, is focusing on ability to service many users at scale, right? Even as more users are joining, we can continue increasing the capacity of the network, right, by adding more shards. So Near Network just added 2 more shards over past 2 weeks, increasing capacity by 50%. Um, and so that's again the trade-off there. We don't have a singular kind of state that you can, for example, build maybe a highly composable DeFi protocols. And so you now can have this place where it's easy to onboard users. It can handle billions of users, but then you can route them to other chains which maybe have a more interconnected DeFi ecosystems. So that's kind of the idea. Is like in this chain abstraction world, Near can serve as entry point, gateway, and kind of platform to really host all these users, but then these users can now interact with all of the other Web3 applications and ecosystems.
Yes, thanks for the explanation. And my next question, okay, so will be to Amos. I'll give his mic. Okay, Amos,
Mhm.
here's your question. Like, all right, then Linear is already the biggest liquid staking protocol on Near. So yeah, so we want to know what's the Linear's next move and how is it related to chain abstraction.
Yeah. So I should probably hand a question over to Stanley, because he's the one that contributed to Linear the most. But before doing that, just like a couple of things I want to add on top of like what Ilya just said. In terms of like your question regarding security, so I think like all the chains spend so much effort to have like really strong, consensus algorithm with, cryptographic, mechanism to try to help user to secure, right? But sometimes people really forget about like sometimes the security breach, and some of the largest one actually come from the human aspect. So back to, what crypto is like right now. For example, I have probably like 100 accounts spreading across different chains. And I must admit, I do have certain Google Doc or Word doc that literally just store my secrets or my private key here and there, because when I try to farm something really quick, I don't have that much time to do like a really secure approach to manage my account, right, and on different chains. So definitely, in this like chain abstracted, future, I can definitely see like it can both benefit professional user, but especially like all the new user, joining crypto right now. They don't have to manage, so many accounts, so many keys, and then lost the private key at some point, and the account got hacked, right? So that's like one of the bigger benefits. And I guess the other part is like, what will make Near's, the best blockchain. As Ilya pointed out, like Near already has, the most amount user, like actually more than the next 4 chains combined. This is because, like I guess the reason why I joined Near all the way, back in, I guess like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, was because, the superior performance, I would say, Near pioneer, stake sharding, and, they actually recently launched 2 more shard because the amount of activity happening on chain. Near just have such like powerful stack, also, supporting DA, supporting like the modular blockchain approach. So there's just like really strong infrastructure to do it. And one thing that I've been kind of wondering is that Near already has, more users than the next 4 chain combined, when the market cap of Near could actually be the next 4 chain combined. So that's the important question.
Yes,
but anyways,
yes.
I'll let Stanley from Linear to take over the question you just asked, which is what's Linear's next move, and how it's actually related to chain abstraction.
Yeah, sure. So as I said, we are moving to restaking, and I also briefly explain what restaking is. So the idea is to make restaking available to asset holders other than ETH holders, right? We want to make restaking available to Near holders, to even Solana holders, right, or any other type of layer 1 asset holders. So how are we going to do that? It simply doesn't make sense to rebuild the wheel on every chain, right? Because there is an infra built for a POS chain already, and it can be largely reused for multiple assets, and it simply doesn't make sense for us to rebuild what has been built on other chains. So the idea is actually to utilize, first of all, the trustless bridging between Near and other chains to make passing messages between Ethereum and other chains trustlessly and fully decentralized. So we will make it possible for smart contracts on EigenLayer, which is on Ethereum, to actually send messages on ethical contracts on blockchains like Near, to, let's say, slash assets that are restaked on Near, or to calculate weights or do any type of other updates, right? So what that will allow is for users on Near to just restake their Near, right? They can just, so by restaking Near, you can native restake, or you can just stake Linear. into a contract which stays on near, right? So your asset stays on your chain the whole time. But after doing that, your restake asset will be subject to the authority, or to the messages passed on from Ethereum by the trustless bridge, and that architecture can be replicated to different chains. So near will be the first one, and there are other chains on the roadmap. So why is it related to chain abstraction and overall nearest vision? So first of all, as I said, it doesn't really make sense, to be only able to restake one type of asset, which is Ethereum, right? So we want multi-chain, multi-asset restaking because it simply makes sense. This, the future will be multi-chain. And second, with chain abstraction, right? So we can actually, so like linear's relationship with transaction is twofold. So one, it is like linear's infra is perfect for transaction to derive its security. So right now, so I think Illia doesn't really mention too much tech details, but there will be an NPC network and a multi-chain gas relayer network to enable transaction. So there gotta be a NPC network which actually holds private keys, holds private keys for you on other chains, right? And there will be a multi-chain. I know there will be a multi-chain gas relayer network which executes your intents. And both infras can be decentralized, and they should be decentralized. And actually, linear restaking, like multi-chain, multi-asset restaking, provides a perfect security model, for such infras, because near transaction is not only about near or Ethereum. It's about every chain, right? In the future, in our vision, near will be the near transaction will be the sole front end, or the sole entrance for crypto users. And in that vision, it's gonna be about basically every chain. And in that case, it actually makes sense, to secure the whole underlying network with more assets, right? More than near, more than Ethereum, but maybe like every asset that transaction is connecting. And that vision, and that is not possible right now. But linear's infra will make that possible. So linear actually provides a very, I'll say I won't say perfect, but it's a very suitable security model for transaction, and that's one side. And the other side for transaction for linear to work with transaction is actually on the application side. So when you're actually staking, you're restaking assets from multiple chains, there will be users who need to manage their staked assets on multiple chains. And in that case, chain abstraction and chain signature will actually be the perfect tool for those type of multi-chain users to actually manage their multi-chain restaked portfolio. So it's like chain abstraction can use linear for security, and in turn, chain abstraction will enable better user experience of multi-chain restaking provided by linear. And it's like a mutual enhancing process that we're just very excited to see it unfold.
Yes, I think, once it can goes to all chains, and that will be super, super impressive and incredible for sure. All right, so actually I have one last question for myself. And so what will be the impact of restaking on near and chain abstraction?
Do you mean what's the impact of
the restaking on near
yeah.
and
Well, I think Stanley mentioned the restaking is very powerful to provide kind of additional security as well for services like NPC, for layers, but also it's a general framework to be able to launch off-chain computation, right? And I think there's a lot of use cases we see, right, where blockchain is just not the right solution. I think like there was a kind of a general push to try to put as much stuff on blockchain as possible. And it's just not the right approach. And so instead, you have an ability to run alternative nodes, right? Be that storage nodes, GPU compute, or off-chain workers processing documents, oracles, etc. that can leverage restaking to provide security, to have a conditions for misbehavior of the nodes, and not to have kind of to roll out your own consensus and your own kind of infrastructure, and at the same time to not kind of put more work on existing node infrastructure of the blockchain. And so I think that's a huge benefit. It allows to like build a lot of use cases. I mean, we see obviously eigenlayer kind of ecosystem exploding with ideas on what to do. And I think the huge benefit with chain abstraction is that, and chain signature specifically, the cool thing about chain signature, the signatures work not just for blockchains. They actually work with anything that's cryptographically secure, and you are able to, you will be able to actually log in into some, like you can like sign PGP, for example, with this technology. So if the right curve is supported. So there's kind of a interesting direction where these things will start interact in a way where, for example, a restake nodes will be doing something, then sending the transaction on chain to sign it. That will, for example, do something on the other chain, and then doing it the other way around as well. You can, for example, authenticate a secure session with, for example, a bank by nodes that are restaking and using chain signatures as a way to kind of manage the connection in a secure way that only they can decrypt, right? So there's like an interesting kind of novel use cases of connecting with other cryptographic infrastructure that this allows that restake nodes will be able to do. So yeah, I'm just excited about kind of the use cases that are gonna be coming out of these technologies.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's very nice. Actually, I keep checking the questions from their from our users, from our community. It seems like okay, yes, we actually the Gate community, I believe they're actually have very strong interest on the token AONR, because I have no idea why you guys don't talk about it. It's really impressive that it has already pumped like over 22%. So I've checked a lot of questions and it's related to the token. So I think I will pick some questions so you guys can prepare. But yes, I've asked my 5 questions, and I think it's time to turn the stage over to our audience. So yes, guys, you have time to post your questions in the comments of this Twitter space, and don't forget to type down your Gate.io UID either at the beginning or the end of your question. If you're watching the Gate live streaming room, feel free to drop your questions in the chat box along with your Gate.io UID as well. Just a friendly reminder, please do not copy others' questions and do not keep sending the same questions. If your question doesn't catch my attention, please don't feel upset. We've also prepared a lucky draw for everyone. Just simply click on the link I will soon pin on the space and fill out our questionnaire for a chance to win your rewards. Okay, guys, how about I'll give you as usual, 1 minute to prepare your questions, and our guest, maybe you can take a sip of water and have a little break. Then we'll be back in 1 minute, and I will start picking today's lucky audience. Okay, so guys, 1 minute. And I have pinned our lucky draw link on the top of our space so you can check. And let me start with our first question from the Twitter user called Weather. Can you elaborate on the mechanism behind the linear token, and how does it enable users to earn higher and diversified yields by natively staking near? So who wants to answer this question?
Well, I guess it will be me. Well, we don't really talk about token probably that much.
Okay.
We have been hands down building, but I think
Mhm.
there are things that I can say. So first, actually previously liquid staking wasn't really a high profit margin business in general, right? Because you just take the asset from the users and then you give them a liquid receipt. So liquid staking per se, right? When it's not super big, right? It's it doesn't really give you a super high, like profit, expectation, like I don't know, perp dex, right? But I think the new narrative actually changed everything. So we didn't really launch linear when we first, we didn't really launch the token, when we launched linear back in 2022, because back then it was a pure liquid staking protocol. It was more or less like a public good, for near. But right now, with new, I'll say with new, trends being found, with new tech being enabled, like restaking, and with new narratives like transaction that Near is building, we right now actually feel that linear has just so much it just has so much more potential than we originally thought, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we we airdrop the token to to our loyal users. It's a back in January, so it's purely based on your the amount of linear tokens you've been holding, and the time you've been holding that, right? So I'll say we just want to reward the community, and down the road, two things. So first, the revenue stream by linear will just will multiply, because previously linear is just a liquid staking protocol on near, right? The business model is super simple. But as we are steadily moving toward multi-chain, multi-asset restaking, I'll say the whole story just changed, right? So it's not only about near, it's gonna be about every other layer one asset. And also it's not about staking, right? Like staking is simple. You stake your asset, you stake your near to to a node, you get around 10% APY. You stake Ethereum, you get 3.5%, right? There's just no much space for you to compete with your competitors. But with restaking, it's a totally different story. So there will be thousands or tens of hundreds of thousands of applications, trying to get security from your restricted asset. And what type of asset, and which application will you choose, right? Like what applications will you, I'll say, encourage your users to provide security for? Like that's a highly, I'll say highly, it's a highly specific skill set, right? You have to do a lot of risk assessing, and you have to do a lot of economic modeling. And so like the service provided by restaking providers, by restaking protocols, will be so much richer than a pure liquid staking protocol. So, and in that case, the revenue stream will just be so much more diversified and actually just so much bigger than a pure staking protocol. So that's one thing. And second, the governance power will be much more, I'll say, meaningful, than a pure staking protocol, right? So, for staking, we just choose the best validators. We choose the best nodes, and then we just delegate tokens to them. That's it, right? Actually, we launched our automated validator selection algorithm a while back, and after that, it's been running pretty well. And to be honest, there's not that huge of a space for improvements. But when it comes to restaking, governance becomes so important, because as I said, a restaking protocol can provide all sort of services. It can provide 100 different portfolios for users to choose from. And for linear, when we actually launch multi-asset restaking, we can the governance will be able to determine what type of applications, like linear, right, or LNR will will whitelist, to provide security. And there will be just so many more, I'll say, DeFi and also non-DeFi applications, and I'll say and combinations, enabled by restaking. So governance will be actually very, very important in this case.
Yeah.
It's also about liquidity distribution, etc. So yeah, I can only say, revenue streaming wise, it's going to be so much stronger, and on the governance power side, it's also going to be, I'll say, very important. So governance will be very important for linear down the road. So I think those are the two things that I can share right now. And in the future, there will be more detailed, token mechanism explanation coming out. It's just that, right now it's at an early stage, and we don't want to release any any non-finalized information. So
Yes, thanks. So since we can't speak a lot about the tokens, then I would just go back to choose the question about linear protocol itself. But to understand more, because you explained earlier. So what I understand is now we can stake near token on linear and earn the token called linear, and then the token called, let me check, it's called LNR. It's actually the community governance token. So that's the difference, right? Or we can't talk about it either. I think you just explain okay, which token is.
Stanley, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was on mute. So yeah, I mean, we can obviously talk about linear tokens. So that's like linear is just the liquid staking derivative you get after staking near. So right now that's still the only thing you can do with linear. But soon you will be first stake your linear, right? So by staking your linear token, so you're restaking near, because linear is already staked near. So by staking linear, you are actually restaking near, and that restaked near will be used to secure other applications, right? It's not used to secure near, but it's going to be used to secure all type of other applications. Maybe even include chain abstraction, right? So that's I'll say that's the first step, and then we go multi-chain, right? So we're gonna enable. So we're gonna start with near, but we're gonna include other assets in the future. So in the future, you will be not only able to stake near or restake near with linear. You can even like stake and restake Solana or Atom or whatever asset that that the community deems that has the highest security, that has the highest potential. We can move on to include that. So yeah.
Yes.
And in terms of like LNR emission and incentives, we there will be more plans coming up. So yeah.
Yes, we're really looking forward to that. All right, then, okay, so the second question I chose is from the user called Ghost on Twitter. And he asked about how does the linear manage the delayed on staking, and what are the potential consequences for users who choose this option? I don't think.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So when you're when you're on staking from a near node, I mean, Illia obviously knows much better than me on this point. So there's a delay. You cannot just immediately take your delegated near from a node, right? So there's gonna be I think it's a 1 epoch delay, right?
Well, it's 3 epochs delay.
Oh, 3 epoch delay, right? So yeah, it's gonna take from maybe 1 day or couple of hours for you to actually complete to unstake near from a node, right? So when you're choosing delayed unstaking, you are actually asking linear protocol to just unstake your share of near from the node, and then wait for that process to be completed, and then you get near back, right? So that's delayed unstaking. But obviously, if you want to get your linear back immediately, you can just, just sell your linear, right? So because there is liquidity between linear and near tokens, so you can just, if your amount is not that big, you can just sell linear and you can, you can get near. And the slippage, is actually quite minimal, especially if, if the amount isn't too big. So yeah, that's the difference.
Thank you so much. And we talked about the safety topics before on the technical side. I think this question is from the Gate live stream, and it's also about security, but he's more focused on the audit. So can you provide details about any security audits conduct on your project? How do you prioritize and address potential vulnerabilities to ensure the safety of users' funds and data?
I think you're muted, Stanley.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted again. Sorry. So yeah, we got audited by BlockSec. So that was, I think that was a while back, when the protocol was, first launched. And then I think we recently just completed another round of auditing by Hacken. Yeah, so it's already audited twice by quite reputable auditors, and like no big issues found, and all suggestions are addressed accordingly. And with linear also adding more functionalities to the protocol, there will be more audits coming up. So we will not publicly launch any functions that are not audited. So
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm actually trying to find some like interesting and some really important questions, but it seems like you guys are building I'm not gonna say on your own, but I do. It's actually, the question is actually from me, but I will give meanwhile please give me more time to choose more like good questions. But it seems like you're building on yourself and you're keep building that. I just want to know, like, do you guys have any plans to collaborate with other projects? Maybe we can say, okay, so linear is combining with other projects like GameFi, or I don't know, just like in my imagination, right? So you guys have the partnership, you guys can work together. I think, yeah, just imagine if there is a game, so I can also stake near and earn some rewards. I'm not sure. It's just like, okay, I have this idea, so I don't know if you guys have plan on that. It seems okay. We want to like your community mentioned that, okay, what's your partners and what's your you also mentioned about the next step, but it seems like, okay, so you plan to trying to build a better linear. That's definitely perfect. You know what I mean. So I just want to
sure.
yeah.
So
Thanks.
I
Thank
think
you so much.
I mean, first of all, as Illia mentioned, near and transaction, post restaking, you can be super flexible, right? Basically, you can move things that belong to off chain. So for example, storage, for example, AI or computation. You move them off chain, and you still can trustlessly verify them on chain, right? So with that being the case, there will be I'll say like the use case of linear restaking plus transaction is like, I mean, there's unlimited, there's literally infinite design space for this model, and we have just so many use cases that we can just integrate, right? As as you mentioned, gaming, right? I think there are actually, I'll say, quite big AAA games that are planning to launch on near. I think so. And yeah, like for with linear, when we actually when we have that infra built out, then it can be actually used for by any type of applications. If it's a game, and if if let's say if the game wants its computation to be secured, in some way, or to be collateralized. If the game want a dedicated dedicated layer for its identity, it's all use cases that can be secured by linear. And again, the user experience can be just seamlessly taken over by transaction. So I think that's and I think that's that's the end game that we have in our mind. And like right now, there's a couple partnerships in our pipeline. We just cannot really disclose them right now because yeah, there are details to be finalized, but yeah, I think in general there are just so many use cases, and we're at a so early stage because we are just building infra. Near is building infra, and we're also building infra, and there are just tons of use cases that can be integrated. So
Yeah, thanks. So actually, I think this I think this question are better concluding is because about marketing. So he think, okay, marketing is the central element to every project, so that everyone knows the potential that a project can bring is vital to achieving the goal set. So what is your strategy for attracting new users and investors to your to Linear and keep them long term?
yeah, so we just build out the infra, and then we we do partnerships. So like like the partnership with Near, right, of course, and there will be more. And I think right now crypto in general just lacks use cases, just lacks applications, and I think we actually want to work on that. So yeah, so while we're building infra, we are already I would say reaching out and talking to potential use cases and applications to build on Linear and also Near. So I think that's that's the way we do organic marketing, because you just like posting a lot on Twitter can bring you 3 days hype, but it's not gonna sustain. So what we are trying to achieve is actually applications after applications to be built on Linear. It's just like Near, right? Like Near is is low-key becoming the most used chain in crypto, right? We have real applications like caching, like like Sweatcoin, that's whose users are using Near like every day, not every second, right? I think that that's a goal we have for Linear too.
Yeah, thanks. I definitely agree that yes, sometimes I saw a lot of projects announcing partnership. Then about the details, they can't tell us about, and we can't see. So actually, I do think that only announce partnership on Twitter, and I can't see any collaborations. That's kind of useless. So I believe you want to keep it in your way. I believe it's a better way. I believe it's a good partnership. So yeah. Okay, so the next question I pick is actually from the Twitter, this user called Tokyo. So his question is about how does the Linear handle the distribution of staking rewards, and what factors influence the reward rates for users participating in the protocol?
Well, right now it's actually pretty simple, right? So basically, like all all users Near tokens are put together and dedicated to nodes, and then the nodes just I mean, like near POS reward just accumulate block by block, right? And that will be reflected on the Near balance, right? Of the whole Linear protocol, which will then be reflected on the relative price between Linear and Near. So every user is getting the same reward, right? And yeah, I think that's actually pretty straightforward. And down the road, there will be difference, because with restaking, the reward token will be different, right? So you are probably getting token ABC from staking Near. And then managing that will actually require a whole different system, and we're still working on that. And I believe even Eigenlayers was working on that, and those so-called LRT protocols, those liquid restaking protocols on Ethereum right now, they're also working on that. So yeah, I think that's also a pretty big design space, to be to be to be working on. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to see different rewards. And yeah, good luck to Linear and good luck to restaking. So yeah, I have picked 5 questions already. So congratulations to our 5 lucky audience. And guys, do not forget to join the questionnaire. I've pinned on our space. Let me check. Yes, it's pinned on our space. And one more time, yes, I would like to express my gratitude for the 3 guests for joining us and sharing some fantastic insights about linear. Though I haven't, I think our Amos disappeared, but it's okay. So, guys, do you have anything else to tell everybody from Gate.io community?
I mean, from my side, just want to welcome everyone to try out Near if you haven't yet, and as more applications launching as chain signatures, and kind of you will be able to make Near your home, but then be able to go around the whole Web3 and interact with all the new applications. And if you haven't tried DAppDapp, it's a really good example of kind of the direction of chain abstraction that we're going.
Yes, thanks. And Stanley?
Yeah, just give us if you're not following linear right now, do follow linear. There will be more announcements coming up, and do join the community. We have Telegram, we have Discord, and the protocol is just is actually way bigger than it looks right now. So keep posted, and you won't be disappointed.
Yes, guys, if you think, okay, this is really interesting, please do check the Twitter, please do check the website and join the linear community. I believe they will be super enthusiastic to help you and answer all your questions there. So yeah, that's pretty much of it for today. And I think this is the end of the AMA. So yes, guys, I hope you have a nice day and take care. I will see you next time. Yeah. Bye, guys. I hope you are good luck with the lucky draw, and I really have a good time with Illia, with Stanley, and also the disappeared Amos. So yeah,
It got
thanks.
abstracted out.
Yeah, okay, sorry, but again, thank you so much for joining us. I
Thanks,
would,
everyone. Thanks for
yeah,
organizing.
yeah. Let's
Thanks.
keep in touch, and see you.
Thanks.